What is good, y'all? What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me for this recap of this week of Big Brother. Y'all, it's been a very interesting week in the Big Brother house. Hopefully, those of you that actually follow the show have actually been looking to see what's going on. So I'm trying to figure out where I even want to begin. I guess I can pick up from where I last left off with y'all as far as us going into the week last week. There were a few people on the block because the HOH was, let me go look. Who was the dang on HOH? Let me go bring up my guide actually so that y'all can see what I see. So last week, y'all, we left off with the HOH being Derek X. Derek X won the head of household competition, y'all. He is not with the cookout, but he is indirectly aligned with the cookout due to his crush on Hannah. And so Derek X won HOH. He ended up putting up Brittany and who was it? Who did he put up? Derek X put up Brittany and Sarah Beth. Brittany ended up winning the Power of Veto in the Power of Veto competition. And because she won, she removed herself off the nomination block. And Derek X replaced Brittany with Christian. Christian was actually a backdoor plan. He was the plan to be backdoor, targeted and backdoor all along. And the backdoor was a success. So one thing that I can say is that most people was giving Derek X slack, saying that he really didn't come to play the game, that he was kind of just sleeping and floating up in the house. But no, I would say the first couple of weeks of the game, he definitely didn't seem like he was on his A game. But here recently, looking at how he plays, I will say that he's definitely not afraid to make big moves. He's just really a competition threat and a force to be reckoned with. So Christian did leave the house. He was voted out on Thursday night. After the episode aired on Thursday night, they went straight into the head of household competition on the live feeds. But on the live feeds were cut for the head of household competition. And so we actually had to wait like a couple of hours for the feeds to come back. But when the feeds came back, we had a new head of household, y'all. Oh, and what's good, Bright Star? Oh, Bright Star, didn't even see you right there. You glad Christian went home? And I'm glad you called me, Bright Star, because last time you came late. But yeah, I'm trying to be consistent, Bright Star, to just come at noon, just like I said I was going to do. But yeah, I'm happy that Christian went home too. To be honest, I'm not a fan of a showmance, and especially not a showmance getting to the end. I feel like Christian's eviction was even more sweet because he was evicted right before jury. Because that's another thing too with the showmances. I don't like for them to be shacking up in the jury house. Call me a hater, call me whatever you want, but I don't want them shacking up over there. Like, look, y'all don't need to be up in here shacking up. So the fact that Christian got the boot last week before he could even make it to jury, and so Alyssa got to be up in jury by herself, that's good. Not to mention, Alyssa and Christian would have served as 2 votes for somebody at the end of the game. So anybody who was truly aligned with them would have been at a huge advantage if they made it to the finals of the game. What's good, get right or get left? Oh, you love it? Me too. Anybody that would have made it to the end of the game would have been at an advantage because they would have then had the vote of Christian and Alyssa, because we already know they were going to vote together. It's not like they were going to keep their votes separate. No, they were going to vote together with each other wholeheartedly. So y'all, Kylan, of all people, Kylan won the HOH competition on Thursday night. I don't know if y'all have the live feed, so spoiler alert, but Kylan is currently the HOH. So it's like, y'all. So we had the cookout in power with Kylan being HOH, then Xavier being HOH. Then we had Derek X as HOH last week, and now we got Kylan again as HOH this week. So the cookout is in pretty good standing, but y'all, there is a little bit of drama that's been going on up in the house. I don't know how I want to feel about it because initially when the season first started and I got introduced to the cast, my first favorite was Derek Frazier. I was really rooting for Derek Frazier. Second favorite was Tiffany. However, as the course of these couple of weeks have gone by, it's been some bumps in the road, a little bit of drama, to the point to where I'm like, ugh, I'm a little iffy. So I guess before I even scatter myself all about, we'll start with the head of household competition. So it seems to have been one of those HOH competitions in which there is like where you get to pick two people to partner up and go up against each other, and whoever answers the question incorrectly is automatically eliminated. It was like one of those types. So the cookout, the main objective this week, y'all, they only had one job for this HOH competition, and that was to throw the competition to Tiffany. So everybody in the cookout had already came to a meeting of the minds. What's good, Latasha Phillips? Everybody came to a meeting of the minds like, hey, we throwing this one to Tiffany, because the way that they have ordered the white people to be getting taken out the house, they've ordered it in such a way to where they have decided who is going to be the HOH for what week to get rid of this person. And based on what they have already put as their hit list, Christian was last week. This week was supposed to be Sarah Beth. This was Sarah Beth's week to leave. Because it was Sarah Beth's week to leave, according to the schedule that the cookout has made, this is the reason why the HOH was supposed to be thrown to Tiffany. Y'all, I'd be damned if everything went according to the plan, to where it was Tiffany and Kylan, the last two people who had to go against each other in the HOH competition. Of course, the winner of this last question will be the HOH. So Julie Chen, or I'm guessing whoever it is, asked the question. Whatever that question may be, the question was asked. It was Kylan and Tiffany. Kylan is throwing it to Tiffany. So Kylan refused to even answer the question. He didn't buzz in to put an answer, nothing. Why Tiffany put the answer and she put the wrong answer. So because Kylan just sitting there ready to throw it to Tiffany, but because Tiffany entered the wrong answer, that automatically eliminated her, which meant that Kylan ended up becoming HOH by default. He didn't even want to be HOH. I'm like, damn, Tiffany, how bad do you have to be at the game to where the HOH is being thrown to you and you still can't seem to catch the HOH that's being thrown to you? So because unfortunately the HOH didn't go to Tiffany as planned, Colin is HOH, and now the target can no longer be Sarah Beth, because Sarah Beth is Kylan's number 2 outside of the cookout, and Colin cannot be putting Sarah Beth on the block in order to have her eliminated from the game in the cookout. So I'm going to pause right there. Let me catch up on a couple of the comments. Let's see. Oh, Right Star said Colin tried to throw it to Tiffany. Tiffany blew it. Yep. Get Right said, yeah, I've been watching the live feeds. I hate when they interrupt the live feeds and show the cats. Right. But I actually appreciate the animals now more than I did the fish back in the day, because back in the day, it just used to be a fish tank and you just watched the fish swim around for a long time. Get Right said, I like Xavier the most. He's a mastermind. I would agree that Xavier is, but Xavier was kind of getting on my nerves the last couple of weeks because he was really hell bent on keeping all 4 kings there. And I'm like, come on now, Xavier, you being greedy. Because if we look at all the other teams, everybody else has lost a person from their team. So why in the hell did Xavier think that it would be plausible for him to really think that the cookout was going to let all 4 of his king people stay there when everybody else has been losing a teammate left and right? Like, that was a little bit much for me. And it started making me kind of side-eye Xavier, because I'm like, seriously? The Kings are the only team that had all 4 people. And you really think that the cookout should let you make it where you could keep your full team intact while everybody else is losing people along the way? That ain't right, and it's not fair. What's good, Latasha? Bright Star said 1 job. Yeah. The way Tiff lost reminds me of how Davon lost the blowout. Girl, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want to be stereotypical, but when I found out that they tried to throw it to Tiffany and she still lost, it really gave me Davon tease. Davon is my favorite, or she was my favorite BB player up until this season. Up until this season, she's been my favorite across the board. But I have to say, she was always a disappointment when it came to the competitions. And y'all, I'm one of them Big Brother fanatics who be on Twitter. I be arguing with them. Like, I be up on Twitter. I be up in the Facebook groups. I be everywhere. And, you know, it's hard to put your neck out there and try to actually defend Davon and defend her gameplay whenever she could never win a competition. And I'm just really hoping that Tiffany is not about to go down the route of Davon to the point to where they tried to throw it. She still couldn't even win even then. What's good, Shelby? Welcome. So, yeah, Bright Star said, right, X was delusional. He wanted all his, right, he can't have all four. So, yeah, so Colin tried to throw it. It didn't work. So now Sarah Beth is no longer the target. So let me go ahead and get my next slide for you guys. Sarah Beth is no longer the target because Kylan won HOH. So Kylan had to nominate people this week. Kylan nominated Claire and Derek Frazier for eviction. Which now this, when I got back to the feeds yesterday and I saw this right here, I was kind of confused because I'm like, wait a second. Now it's still, y'all, it's unfortunate because as long as there is a cookout, it's hard to not sound racist, y'all. But when I first saw that Derek Frazier was on the block, I'm like, Kyla, it's still more white people up in the house. What the fuck? Oh no, I said I'm not gonna cuss on this channel. Kyla, it's still more white people up in the house. What the hell? Like, why? And so I'm like, why would he put up Derek Frazier? Y'all, then Derek Frazier started gaming so hard. Derek Frazier, he was confusing me for a little bit because I'm like, what the hell? Because once Derek Frazier got put on the block, everybody was shocked that Kylan put up a member of the cookout. The cookout people were shocked by this. Like, what? And Derek Frazier met in the bedroom with Aja and Brittany. And he was basically telling Aja that he thinks that he's the target, that Kylan is coming after him, that Kylan wants him out the house, and Kylan was never really aligned with him like Kylan said that he was. He said that Kylan is a backstabber, and he thinks that Kylan is targeting him because him and Kylan had an argument, and he cussed Kylan out, and because he cussed Kylan out, he thinks that Kylan is taking this personally and put him on the block. So now you got Aja getting upset because Aja's just mad because she feels like the jokers have just been getting flung around all which way since Frenchie left. She feels like they are like the pawns. They are like disposable. Nobody really cares about their game. Their game doesn't matter to most of the people of the house. And she got mad about Kylan putting up Derek F because Derek F was making all this rules. Now, I had to thoroughly look at the live feeds and then read a few blogs for me to see that this is a ruse, y'all. This whole act that Derek F is doing is just a farce. I don't know why he's doing it. It doesn't make sense. It just seems like it's going to create more tension and division within the cookout, but this is the way he's going about playing this, so whatever. But it seems that prior to Colin even making his nominations, they all concluded that, or not they all, prior to Kylan making his noms, Kylan and Derek F concluded that Derek F would be the pawn for Kylan. They both agreed to this. Derek F said, yes, I will be the pawn. I will get on the block and you can put me up there against whoever. And essentially, the goal was for him to just be a pawn because there was a backdoor plan. So I think Kylan is really trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, because he's trying to do exactly what Derek X did last week. He's trying to masterfully execute a backdoor plan. But in his plan this week, his backdoor targets are going to be either Brittany or Alyssa. So those are the two. So he put Derek Frazier up there. Hold on, let me go back to my banner. He put Derek Frazier up there with Claire, but Derek Frazier is the pawn. Now, as far as Claire goes, Claire can be gone, according to Kylan, because Tiffany didn't win this HOH, and this was supposed to be her week to win it for them to target Sarah Beth. Kylan has won it, so now that Kylan has won it, the cookout is thinking that this is the week that they should go ahead and target Claire. So Claire, if the veto is not played and these two remain the nominees, then Claire will be the target. If the veto is played, then the goal is for the veto to be used to take Derek F down, and then Kylan will throw up either Brittany or Alyssa, and then either of them will be the target with Claire. So essentially, it's still going to be taking out a white woman this week. Oh, and speaking of white woman, y'all, the funniest thing happened on the live feeds. Okay, so y'all know that the cookout is thick as thieves. Like, we all know this. Even though they've been having some cracks in there, cracks in the armor. I'll get into that a little bit. But one thing that I found rather funny is that Derek F was speaking about the fact that he was in the bedroom chilling, and Alyssa came in there while he was there, and Alyssa was like, Derek F, can you believe there are so many minorities still left in the house? All we've been doing is been voting out white people. This is what Alyssa is telling Derek F. And actually, let me go back to my visual so that y'all can see Alyssa, because I know some people are not familiar with who is who. So Alyssa's like, yeah, all the white people getting kicked out. It's funny because when Derek F went and retold this story to Aja, Derek F was like, oh, so now she's talking about all the white people have been voted out. So I guess now she wants to assume her Puerto Rican heritage all of a sudden because the minorities are taking over the house, which I think is funny. It is essentially the way things work out in life. White people are white as long as it's benefiting them. But as soon as they see that being white ain't so beneficial, then now they want to be a minority. Now they want to be a person of color. Now they want to be with the group, the black people, or with the Hispanics, or with the Asians, with the Puerto Ricans, with this, with that. Now you want to be. Now, as long as Christian's ass was up in that house, you was white. As long as Christian's white ass was in that house, Alyssa was white. But now that Christian done left, Frenchie done left, Travis done left, Whitney done left, now Alyssa want to be Puerto Rican. Bitch, where? Bitch, where? It's funny how people be playing games. People really do be playing games. But yeah, that was an interesting fact that happened on the live feeds. So we just going to see how long Alyssa is going to try to, claim her non-white side. Now that white people are not the majority of the house, now she don't want to claim her white side. She Puerto Rican now. She Puerto Rican today, y'all. This week, Alyssa is Puerto Rican. Last week, she was white, but this week, she is Puerto Rican. So everything is okay, y'all. Everything is fine. But yeah, let me go back here to this one. So yeah, Kylan is hoping to get rid of either Claire, Alyssa, or Brittany this week. Derek F is a pawn, and he is going around acting like he is not aware that he's a pawn. He's making Aja and other people in the cookout kind of be upset with Kylan. Kylan is even playing along with this, which I don't understand why that's beneficial to Kylan to play along with this with Derek F. I don't know why he thinks that it's beneficial to keep the cookout in the dark about what they have going on or the moves that they are trying to make, but that's what's happening currently. So now that we know who is put on the block. So after the nominations happened, we had maybe an hour or two on the live feeds about what was happening post nominations. And then the feeds cut again, y'all, and they cut for like easily about 6 to 7 hours. So the feeds cut for 6 to 7 hours because, as you all know, Julie Chen announced the twist on Thursday night, where America is going to be voting for people to get Big Brother bucks or BB bucks in order to use it to play in the high roller room, which I guess is some type of game in which you get money to gamble in that room. You get BB bucks to gamble in that room, and you actually end up winning certain powers that will affect the game. So the high roller room was open yesterday, and I guess people had the option. Well, I guess people were told how much money they got. If they got, well, yeah, everybody got money. So they were told how much money they got, and they were given the option on if they wanted to play in the high roller room or not. So from my notes, and again, this won't be totally confirmed until we watch the episode, but based on the notes that I gathered from what was said on the live feeds, this is how the money was sorted out based on America's vote, because America came and voted to see who was going to be given what amount of money, and the highest vote getters got so much. So like the top three vote getters got 100 Big Brother bucks. Then you got the second three who got $75 in BB bucks, and then the rest of the house guests got 50 bucks. So based on what I've seen and observed, now of course they could be lying their ass off to each other, but based on what I've observed, the three people who won $100 in the BB bucks are Derek F, Derek X, and Tiffany. So we got Derek Frazier that has 100 BB bucks, Derek X who has 100 BB bucks, and Tiffany. Which I'm really shocked by this, because y'all, I honestly didn't think that America was a fan of Derek F like that to vote him to get 100 BB bucks. I really thought that Hannah was going to be one of those up there to get 100 BB bucks, but no, it's Derek F. So for the $75 prize in BB bucks, that went to Xavier, Hannah, and Brittany. And then the remainder of the house guests all ended up getting 50 BB bucks. So the high roller room happened, but I'm not really sure what the result of that's going to be. And to be honest, I think we will have to wait and watch the episode in order to figure all that out. What they've been saying in the house, though, just based on the speculation, and all of this is allegedly, but what they've been saying is that there is possibly a second veto that will be in play this week due to that high roller room being open. Like when they went and played in the high roller competition, the people that did, the prize or the power up for grab was a second veto. This is all speculation based on what is being said on the feeds. And so if there is a second veto in play, that could definitely change the game and totally rock the way this HOH will go for Kylan. But either way, he still already has 3 targets in mind, Alyssa or Brittany as backdoor options. And if he can't backdoor them, then Claire, who is already on the block, will just be his target. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Let me go and catch up on my comments here. I might have missed a little bit from y'all. Oh, not Derek Frazier. Oh, hold on. So Bright Star said, thank you for putting your neck out there. You serious. We need you in the social media world for us. And then Shelby said, not Derek Frazier. Get right or get left is talking about Derek Frazier. Y'all, I don't know what Derek Frazier got going on, but whatever. I just hope that it doesn't cause any more division. Because y'all, the cookout is kind of crumbling this week. Derek Frazier, and Aza have been really pissed with Tiffany. Tiffany been getting on their nerves, which I'm sure y'all saw how Tiffany was spazzing out last week whenever it came to having Christian on the block, which I really couldn't even believe that, because Tiffany was playing such a flawless game up until that point. So how would you put your game out there on the line for the likes of Christian when I know dang well Christian would never jeopardize his game in such a way for Tiffany. No way he would do it. And when she was just going around just stirring all this pot, trying to flip the vote and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, Tiffany, you need to chill, because people don't have you on the radar. That's good. People know that you kind of are manipulative, but they not paying no attention to you like that, so that's good. But the nerve of you to really run around like this for Christian, when he is in a whole showman's, he is with a whole team that nobody has been voted out with. He has all of these reasons why people should put him as the target. He has all of these reasons on why people should make him the target. So you really need to stop jeopardizing your own game behind this. So yeah, she ended up pissing off some people up in the cookout. Aja and Derek F were upset with her, but luckily that came and went. Now, Tiffany ended up doing a lot of damage control after the Thursday night episode. Once Christian left, all day yesterday, Tiffany was doing damage control, trying to mend some of these bridges that she burned while she was trying to flip the vote in order to keep Christian safe. So, like, she went and had this long talk with Aja. They hugged and made up. She went and had a talk with Derek. She had a talk with Hannah. She was having a talk with all these people. And she even had a talk with Sarah Beth. Because remember, Sarah Beth is who Tiffany would have flipped that vote on. So if she would have got her way and flipped the vote to keep Christian, then that meant that Sarah Beth would have left. And y'all better know that Sarah Beth ain't forgetting that shit. Tiffany can say all day long that she really didn't mean anything by it or whatnot. But Sarah Beth is going to always remember that Tiffany tried like hell, even to the point of putting her own game in jeopardy, to try to flip that vote to where Sarah Beth would be put out. So yeah, we got fed. They're talking about the pawns go home. What else I got for y'all? I don't care what anybody says. The Cookout Alliance say Big Brother future season. I agree with that. I'm very proud of the Cookout. Now, y'all, I have been wondering though, what do y'all think? What do y'all think would happen if Derek Frazier ends up getting voted out on this HOH? Because the one thing that I can say about this season, I like that they are not hell-bent on voting with the house. Like, people are really independent with their votes to where they vote however they feel the need to. And I was like, what if it would be a whole wrench thrown up in the game and Derek F ended up getting evicted on Colin's HOH? What if a Cookout member ended up getting sent packing on this HOH for Colin? If that were to happen, should there be an uprising by the Cookout? Should the Cookout uprise and go against Colin because Colin put one of their own in danger, put their own in jeopardy? What if? What's good, Glitzy? Welcome. Like, what if? Should there be an uprising if something happened? Because y'all know that even though you try to execute a plan in a certain way, the plans are not always foolproof, y'all. There is always bound to be somebody that's going to throw a hinky vote, or somebody that's going to try to flip this or flip that, or somebody that's going to be greedy and want to have more benefit for themselves to where they will totally turn the plan upside down just for their own gain. So I'm curious about that. What if that happens? Now, after this week, depending on who leaves, they said that they're gonna keep trying to target all of the other non-Cookout members. And I have to say, shout out to Christian. Even though I was very happy to see Christian get voted out on Thursday, I did look at several of his exit interviews. I looked at his exit interviews and Whitney's exit interviews from last week. And y'all, I have to say shout out to them, because even once they found out about the Cookout, they weren't offended. Which I was wondering how they would take, knowing that the reason why they were casualties in this game is because they weren't invited to the club, and it's all because of the color of their skin on why they weren't invited to the club. And I really wondered how that was going to play out once they found out that, like, legit, y'all were getting put out bit by bit because Black people said that they were not putting each other out the house. But, you know, both of them took it very well. Like, they didn't try to, reverse racism and and prejudice and all this. They ain't been yelling none of that. So I'm really shocked by that. And I actually do appreciate that, because it seems that they understand the severity of the game and the fact that in the last 23 seasons, Black people have never made it this far. Hell, even history has been made, because all the Black people that started off in the game have all made it to jury. Never in a season of Big Brother has all the Black people who started the game made it to jury. Never has it been where, because I think for a long time there wasn't a black man in jury since like season 5 or 6, I believe. And even then, the Black man got to jury because he was in the showmans with the white girl. So this is definitely history in the making, with this many people up in the jury house that are Black people. So I'm glad about that. Glitzy said, I meant to text you about last night to find out when you were doing this. Oh, Glitzy, I've tried to put myself on the schedule to where I come Saturdays at noon. Saturdays at noon for a weekly recap. If something spontaneous happens like in a week and I just can't wait to Saturday, I will try to come and just, say what I think or say how I feel just really quickly. But for the most part, fix my shirt. For the most part, I'm trying to be consistent and come Saturdays at noon. So yeah, please like the video if you haven't. I've definitely been trying to spread the word on my other social medias, like on my Twitter, on my Facebook, on things like that. So the people who actually enjoyed the game of Big Brother can come and engage in the discussions with us. Shelby said, yep, we finally making progress after all these years. Right. And it's crazy that we actually had to have this agreement to stay on code, and it's actually working. And that's one of the things that I will say that Christian did say in his exit interview. When he was told about the cookout and all of these people working together, he was shocked, because he said he never would even thought that those people were working together, because he's never seen them in the same room together ever at a time. He's never seen them huddled up together in the same room. He's never seen them, sneaking around with each other. He's never seen them whispering to each other. He's not seen any of that, which is a very good sign that, hey, they stand on code. They had that one initial meeting where they said, hey, we're going to be the cookout. We ain't voting us out. We're going to stay here to the end. And that's it. I actually appreciate the fact of playing the game and you having one meeting and one meeting only. Once we done made this deal, we don't need to keep coming back and reinforcing the deal. We don't need to do that. If you trust me, I trust you. So ain't no need to be having to come and follow up. And that's one of the things that I do appreciate about the cookout, because for the most part, they haven't had to keep on reinforcing and reiterating the fact of where they stand with each other. Like, they have been able to stay on code. One conversation only. I got your back. Don't worry about it. Bye. And that's the way it should go, because that's how come they've been able to fly under the radar to the point to where people didn't even know that they were working together. These white people that done got evicted the last couple of weeks had no idea. So that's good. And I will say that if I were ever in Big Brother, I honestly would want an alliance like that. Like, once I done actually said that I'm gonna ride for you and like we good and I got your back, I don't need you to talk to me every day. Hell, I don't need for you to talk to me every other day. We don't need to have a weekly meeting up in the bathroom. We don't have to have a HOH 101 if I win HOH, or HOH 101 if you win HOH. We ain't got to do all that. Once I done told you, I done told you. And that's it. I told you. I'm looking out for you. I got you back. I'm not going to put you up on the block. I'm going to try to keep you protected. That's it. That's all. So, yeah, I appreciate them laying low like that. So, let's see. Bright Star said, Whitney did show her true colors on her Instagram live a few days ago. She admitted she didn't like the cookout. She hinted she didn't have a chance. Right. Well, she didn't have a chance. And I mean, so what? She could, it's funny because season after season after season, black people have never had a chance in this game. And that's my thing. I think that's why I've been really watching these exit interviews, waiting to see what they are going to say, because the nerve, I'm waiting somebody to fix their lip and say, we never had a chance. Well, hell, for the last 22 seasons, the black people never had a chance. Finally, in the year 2021, during the whole dang on pandemic, do black people finally get enough black people up in there in order for them to be able to protect each other and secure their safety and actually get a chance up in this game? So anybody that's like, I never had a chance, well, it's just your time. Too many seasons, black people didn't have a chance. So, she can go on with that. I just recently followed her on Instagram yesterday, I think. I followed Whitney on Instagram yesterday. But I've been following Frenchie since Frenchie left the house. And I think I'm gonna try to look for Christian as well. And then I'll try to see if I can see anything about what Whitney said. Oh, let's see. Bitsy said, I was happy. I hope Derek F. don't trip this week. Well, he was getting pissed off at Tiffany. If Tiffany had sat down somewhere, then won't nobody have to trip, because Tiffany was doing the most last week. Tiffany was doing the most, which was pissing off Derek F. Tiffany was just doing a whole lot. And it's crazy though, because Tiffany did all of that to try to keep Christian. But now she knows very well that the target might be her closest ally, who is Claire. And she ain't doing none of that at all. Make that make sense. Tiffany did all of this ruffling feathers for Christian. But now that Claire's ass might be on the line, she just cool with it. She just like, oh, I might be losing Claire this week. Oh, they're going to take Claire away from me. Oh, now this would be the time for her to be acting a fool. But I guess I don't understand. I think Tiffany acted a fool all last week because it was easier for her to act a fool like that, because she was acting the fool with Xavier too. As long as Tiffany knew that Xavier also wanted to keep Christian, I think that made her feel a little bit more comfortable with losing her damn mind in this damn game trying to keep Christian. That's what I believe. And I do believe too that she, in the back of her mind, she was being greedy, because she was like, if we can manage to keep Christian and Alyssa, and I have a hand in keeping Christian and Alyssa, then I know definitely if both of them are up in jury and I'm at the end of the game, I got both of their votes, because I tried to keep Christian here as long as I could. That's what this is. A lot of it's really every man or woman for himself or herself. It's really about greed and how you're going to look towards the other person. That's truly what it's about. The cookout needed to happen. It's wonderful to have control in a game where we were always outnumbered. Correct. Hannah is more mature than some of the older ones. Correct. Hannah really is. Hannah is surprising me day by day. Y'all, I got my sparkling seltzer water. I tried to be fancy and put me a couple of lemon slices up in there, because I'm still working on my fitness. But let's see what else. Bitsy said, I have to go get ready for my daughter's birthday party. Let's check in before next episode. I need you to invite me to your chat group on the feeds. Okay, all right. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I will. I will text you the name of the group that I'm in. Once I get off of here, Glitzy, I will. Bright Star said the cookout knows the goal and are willing to put Ish aside for the main goal. Very proud of them. Screw everyone else who never had a chance. Now y'all know how it feels. And Bright Star said, I did enjoy Christian X interviews. He was genuine. Yeah, I thought so too. And I really thought that I wasn't going to like Christian. But no, he seems to be an okay guy. He seems to be a stand-up guy. I think he's all right. Shelby telling Tiffany to sit down. Tiff, please just chill. Repair your relationships with Aja and DF. And then Bright Star said, Hannah is mature, but baby, her game reads be so off. Y'all, speaking of off reads, do y'all know that Sarah Beth, this whole time, Sarah Beth had no idea that Christian and Alyssa were a part of a showmance until Christian got voted off on Thursday night and Christian had gave Alyssa that big ass kiss. Sarah Beth says that she had no clue that they had a showmance, that they were romantically involved with each other, any of that. And the only reason why she knows about it now is because when Christian got evicted, he gave Alyssa that kiss. And she even talked on the feeds talking about how she was shocked to see him kissing Alyssa like that. What? But then, y'all, this even plays into the foolishness. Y'all, I gotta get out the habit of cursing, because I'm telling y'all, I be having to catch myself on here because I'm trying to make this more of a cleaner channel. But I think it's interesting that she claims to not have known that they were a part of a showmance. Meanwhile, she is flirting with Colin's ass every chance she get up in there. Now, and that's another thing. Sarah Beth got mad at Big D because Big D had made a remark to her about the fact of how close her and Colin are. And Sarah Beth had a nerve to say, Big D, I have a girlfriend. It is highly inappropriate for you to say that. And Big D said, a lot of the things that you do in here are highly inappropriate. And then she want to get mad. Sarah Beth want to get mad. So then Sarah Beth want to storm up to Kylan and tell Kylan that Big D was making inappropriate references about him and her. And honestly, Sarah Beth is thinking that the reason why Kylan put Big D up this week is because Kylan is putting up Big D because of the inappropriate talk that Big D said about Kylan and Sarah Beth, which is not the case. But this is my thing. So it was very clear that Christian and Alyssa were a showmance, but Sarah Beth claims that she didn't see it until they kissed. But meanwhile, she is very much in somewhat of a showmance with Kylan, even though she got a girlfriend. But she's refusing to acknowledge it and then want to get mad at other people. Now, I will say, y'all, if Sarah Beth was my girlfriend, y'all, I would be highly offended. Like, the fuck? What the hell? I would be upset with a lot of the bull mess that she pulling up in the house. And I'm almost willing to bet her girlfriend is not happy with what's happening with in the house. And Sarah Beth is straight up in denial if she does not feel that a lot of that stuff that she's been doing in that house with Colin is inappropriate. Too much of it is inappropriate. The touching and cuddling all the time, the feels all the time. Colin talking about, did he have a chance? And she said, yeah, she got a chance. Yeah, he got a chance and all this. It's a lot of shit that's inappropriate and very disrespectful for her girlfriend. So, yeah, she shouldn't be getting mad at Big D for stating the obvious, pointing out the obvious. So, yeah, there's that. I think eventually there may be some type of ish hitting the fan type of moment between Sarah Beth and Big D, because they do have that tension because of that, because Big D is just kind of calling her out in her stuff. And it really almost reminds me of Big Brother season 16. Remember when Christine was all over Cody Calafieri the whole season, even though she was married and had a whole damn husband named Tim that was at the house? And she was always cuddling and wanting to be up in the bed with Cody and let's lay up on the couch together and do all this inappropriate stuff that was very inappropriate and disrespectful of her husband. And I feel like the same thing is happening here with Sarah Beth. If Sarah Beth was a true fan of the game, she would have saw in season 16 when Christine finally got voted out and she came out of the house, the whole live audience booed her because she was over there cheating on her husband up in the dang on house with a showmance. So, yeah, that's one other thing that I want to know. Let me see if I have any other thing to contribute here, and then I'm going to bring this to a close, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me because, yeah, I normally keep this like a half hour to 45 minutes, depending. Only if I have panel discussion will I make it be like an hour. But I don't really have a panel discussion today, or at least not that I know of. Before we go, though, let me go ahead and bring y'all up to date with the newest alliances in the house. So, y'all, this is our alliance will and deal map. And it's actually dated as of Thursday. So, as you can see here, Tiffany is still with pretty much every alliance. You got Tiffany over here in her alliance called Tada, which is her and Hannah, their final two. But then you got the cookout that Tiffany is in. Then you got the detectives that Tiffany is in with Kylan, Claire, and Derek X. Then you got Claire and Tiffany final two called Snake Eyes. Then you got Tiffany down there with a final two with Kylan called The Connect. Tiffany is down there in a final three with Sarah Beth and Claire called The Jackpot, which is crazy because Tiffany wants Sarah Beth to be gone. Like, Tiffany is in all over this dang on grid. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tiffany has 6 alliances on this grid, y'all. I could be wrong, but is Tiffany the face that we see the most on here? I think she is the one that's really in the most alliances. Even Xavier is only in 3 alliances from what I see here. Let's see about Kylan. Kylan is in 1, 2, 3, 4. Kylan is only in 4 alliances. Tiffany is in the most alliances, y'all. So she got her hand in so many different cookie jars. She better chill out and calm down because she is in a lot of stuff. And if she don't chill out and even out her game, bring her game back to the way it was prior to last week, she might end up getting found out, y'all. But yeah, so well, I'll go ahead and end this broadcast. Again, thank y'all so much for joining me. Please like the video, share the video if you have any capability. If you are on Twitter or anything like that, definitely share it there, what have you. I plan to start dropping a link on here at some point. Like the last time I dropped the link, it was me and Glitzy up here having a conversation. I plan to drop the link at some point, but I guess for the most part, if people want to come up, just let me know if you want to come up, because I do advertise this as an open panel, and that way even people from Twitter are welcome to come over here. And if they want to click the link and have an open discussion about the season of Big Brother, we can. I also promote this channel on other Big Brother platforms and things like that, and I give people open invitation and opportunity, and that way it can be a place for anybody to converse. But either way, thank y'all so much for joining me. Please like the video, comment if you're catching a replay. Take care. Be blessed. Don't stress. Thank y'all so much for the support on this channel. And I will see y'all 9 times out of 10 next Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time to review the week ahead. Bye.